Okay.
Oh, hello there. Welcome to Short Shot Archery. Today, we're going to be making a Franken tab. And I'll be using this tab right here. So, for those that don't know what a Franken tab is, it's what you do when you modify your stock finger tab. So, for me, this is going to be my second time doing this, because I have already modified my main finger tab. This here is my backup finger tab. So I'll be going through the steps of modifying your tab. You can modify yours however you want. Some people just like to do minor things like such as changing the spacer where your fingers are, or some people go more drastic. For me, I will be actually cutting and grinding this finger tab. So stay tuned. Next, we're going to be talking about what you need to make this happen. So now that I've kicked that skeleton out of my chair, I can go and show you some of the major things you're going to need to make this Franken tab possible. So let me try to get into this chair, because my big dinosaur tail has some problems with these human chairs. Never mind. T-Rex doesn't need a chair. Okay, so here is what you need. So your four main components to this are going to be the finger tab. Ta-da. Because without the tab, none of this is possible. Next up is not a leaf. Get out of here, leaf. That's for herbivores, and we are strictly carnivore here. But you are going to need some scissors, possibly to cut up your local herbivore, or you can use it to trim the leather on your tab. Because if you're doing anything such as grinding or making it fit to your fingers better, you're going to need to use the scissors to cut that leather and that suede backing. Next up is a marker, pen, Sharpie, something along those lines. Blood of your favorite herbivore. You're going to need this to mark what you're cutting on your tab, because if you cut too much, you probably can't put it back on, and that would require you to go out and buy a new finger tab, and you don't want to do that. So always mark before you cut and make sure it's what you want. Take off little bits and move on from there. And last, but certainly a very important piece, is a set of Allen keys. You might need a screwdriver or a Phillips head. You're going to need these to take apart your finger tab. Make sure you keep all your screws in one place, especially if you only have two fingers. Things get lost really easily. So let's go ahead now and take apart this finger tab. So one of the easiest things to take apart right away is usually where you put your finger, where you slide it through so the finger tab stays on your hand. So we just took off the back there. We're just going to pull this through. Ta-da. So we got that off. Next, you can go one of two ways. You either take off all these little screws and then the finger spacer, or you do the finger spacer first and then all the little screws. You really only have one way or the other here, because you need to take off the backing if you're really going to modify your tab. Now, if you're just cutting your tab so your fingers fit better on the leather and the suede, so you should go and check to see where the excess leather and suede is on your finger tab, and then go and mark that with the marker and cut very carefully until you get down to where you're not having a lot of excess material on the tips and sides of your finger tab. But for us, we're going all the way with this modification. We're going to be grinding this puppy, so we need to take out these screws. So we got the screws out of the plate here, so we're almost free. We need to now take apart the finger spacer, so we got to take these two screws out, and then we'll have our leather and suede backing free from the metal that holds this all together. But real quick, a little dinosaur joke. You know why the dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago? Because it took them that long to get the screws out of their finger tab. Yes, that is why. I know. I'm sorry. It wasn't funny. I'll just go back to taking screws out of this finger tab. The struggle is real with these little hands. Alright, very nice, very nice. We have finally taken apart this finger tab, and now we must mark it with our marker. I'm using a silver marker because this is a black finger tab. If I use a black marker on the black finger tab, I probably won't see it. So, we're opening that up. I personally already know where I need to make my marks at, so I'm going to go do that. You will probably have to figure them out on your own because it's going to be a personal preference thing. For me, I'm taking a bit off the top here because this cuts into where my cheekbone is. So by cutting this off, for me, I'm able to bring the tab closer into my face and have a better anchor. And when you're hunting herbivores, you need a good anchor because you want to get your herbivore in the first shot. You know, us carnivores, you know, we got to stick together. So, since we marked the metal plate, you probably want to mark your suede and leather as well, because that's going to be sticking up. You can always wait until you've grinded down or cut down your finger tab to cut the leather. It's probably a good idea. I already know from past experience that I need to cut this ahead of time, so I am not too worried about that. So now let's go to the next step of actually modifying this. We're gonna go and hit the grinder. It's gonna be great. All right, here we go. Alright, so we just finished grinding, and it looks really good. Now, some points I want to make. You should probably go and sand this down to get rid of any kind of sharp edges, because this is going near your face, and you don't want sharp edges anyway, but especially not by your face. You should go and sand them down, make sure it's nice and smooth, nothing sharp, and then go and put your tab back together. Check to make sure everything works, and you pretty much just keep repeating this process until you get your finger tab how you want it. So now, let's get back to putting this tab together. We now have completed putting together the Franken tab. I was going to show you me putting it back together, but since it takes me 65 million years of these little hands, I figured I would save you the pain and suffering. So, hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. I enjoyed making it for you. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like. Let us know what you think. And as always, happy shooting.